have a DE filter, and I think I'm having issues with my multiport valve. My pool has been open for 9 days and is still very cloudy. Water does not seem to be filtering properly and getting clean. When I put DE in the, I'm assuming skimmer, it goes right back into the pool through the jets. Also, dirt is not being caught by the filter. I changed the grids 2 years ago, so they are pretty new. Could an old multi-port valve be the cause of my pool being cloudy and the filter not retaining the DE? Water comes out of the hose attachment when the setting is on filter, and it also leaks when on the filter setting. I guess my question is, if I replace the multi-port valve, will that help clear the water and help the pressure when vacuuming?
There's a myriad of things going on here, and let me try to dissect it. If there's something wrong in the multi-port valve, there's what's called a spider gasket in there, and it's almost like a wagon wheel spoke gasket. If that is peeled or broken, then clearly when you turn the multi-port valve handle and try to seat it in the filter position, there's a chance if that gasket rolled that water could go in different directions. So that's certainly a possibility. I would suggest before you replace it, you visually inspect it. Shut everything off. Take the screws that hold that top of that handle of the valve and pull it off and look at the gasket inside. If the gasket is sealed and intact and not worn flat, it's probably okay. Having said that, there's always the chance that if the spring that holds the handle is loose, it's not pressing that plate down. It's possible, not probable, unless this thing is 20 years old. Likely what the problem is that either the fins or the grids, depending on the filter you have, are overplugged. They haven't been acid washed or cleaned in a while, and they're caked on, especially if the pool, if it was closed and just drained over the winter and it wasn't disassembled and taken apart and cleaned out. That stuff could have just caked right on there and dried solid as a rock, and you go and start it up in the spring, and next thing you know, things are shooting back in the pool. It's a good possibility that because everything dried and just shrunk in place, everything shrunk a little bit, and it's allowing things to not filter through those grids before they head back. First thing I would do is inspect the inside of the multiport valve. Second thing I would do is inspect the inside of the filter itself. Look at the grids. If the grids are packed full of DE, no matter how much DE you try to put in there, it's not going to help at this point. And if that's the case, you're going to want to take the grids out, rinse them off, maybe soak them in acid overnight, an acid water mix. I wouldn't suggest power washing them, but maybe rinsing them thoroughly. If you power wash them, you tend to damage the surface of the grid itself. And once you've done a visual inspection inside there, if the grids are fine and clean, and the inside of the multi-port valve is clean, then at that point, I don't know what to tell you, but likely it's going to be either that multi-port valve gasket that looks like a wagon wheel, or more than likely it's just really packed and dirty grids inside the filter itself.